Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, everyone that can hear the sound of my voice, to this week's edition of the Petty and Ill-Informed podcast, where we venture our petty and ill-informed opinions about a variety of topics. I've heard some complaints about the amount of Ark Raiders footage you guys have had to watch, so to this week, I've got a bit of Rust gameplay for you. I suppose I could reinstall Skull and Bones, but I just can't be asked at the moment. It's a big download. But yeah, so enjoy a bit of Rust and no Ark Raiders this week. Joining me only Tom. Tom, how are you?
Yeah, all's well and good. No complaints. All things are cool.
Good. So, what you been up to this week?
Well, let's see. I've been so I'm just trying to sort the sound out on my computer because it's playing up at the moment. Say something, Richie.
Something, Richie.
Brilliant. There, I've got the sound back. It's on my TV. But it was coming out of the speaker and was really tinny, and I could barely hear you, Richard. No, let's see what to tell. Stuff's cool. With my kids and my special needs kids at school, we have been having a lot of fun with the jet wash because we just as part of general life skills, we're learning how to wash cars. Richard, I think what you're doing in the game right now would be a lot easier with a coconut.
You can get a coconut skin for the rock, but I thought about it after I recorded the footage that I should have gone with that, but
a coconut skin for the rock.
It was just one of those things that occurred to me after the fact, and I was like, nah, that would have been awesome. But yeah,
so I was just I'll get back to the story and stop being sidetracked, or try that for once in my life. We were doing these. We're practicing washing the school minibus, and we got the jet wash out. That was such a laugh. One kid's I've never used the jet wash before. They have a proper recoil. They're brilliant. So I used that to we used that to clean the minibus, and one kid squirted it straight up in the air, and it all came down in little droplets like rain, which was highly entertaining. And the same kid squirted it point blank in another kid's face, which was a bit ill-advised, but kid was fine, and we had fun. So yeah, really things are. I really cannot complain about my job, and I don't. Work is still work, of course, but it could be a lot worse. And I'm really glad I found what I did at my special needs school. So game on. And all I was going to say was I found a couple of really amusing stories in the news this week. And I pinged them to you, Richard, so that you might, if we can bear to take a break at some point, not necessarily right now, from our rock smashing, our Tin Can Alley, we can have a good laugh at them.
This is Rust, all right? You start with a rock and a torch. That's it. And from that, you build a mighty empire.
An empire?
Well, kind of an empire. I'm not so good at Rust. I'm not going to lie. It's not a game I've ever been good at. I'm not as good at first-person games as I am at third-person. I don't know why. Look at that. I just missed that pig's head. That was embarrassing. He's going to run. And I'm going to miss him again. And there, I'll get him, of course. But yeah, you just start with a rock, man. A rock and a torch. That's it. That's all you...
Beat up a dead pig with a rock.
You're harvesting leather, bone fragments, and cloth from the pig.
Well, in the society that you're in, and you're truly in hunter-gatherer mode, I have no vegan opposition to what I've just seen.
Well, the law of Rust is it's a prison, and you're just dropped on the island naked with a rock and a torch.
Mm.
And you can see that pig attacked me first, so this is self-defense. Or it would be if I was. You see, look, I'm just terrible at this game. But yeah, me and Nikki watched this YouTuber called Willjim, who's got like over 10,000 hours at this game, and he's like so good at Rust, it's ridiculous. But like, there's a certain level in video games I don't want to get to. You know, I don't want to be so good at video games ever. I just want to be good enough. You know, I don't want to know the meta or the yeah. I don't ever want to do the meta because it would be boring.
Yeah. Oh, charming.
See, I've upgraded from a rock to a bone knife so I can get more out of the pig. Already my technology's increasing. See? It's how you play this game. It's like any survival game. You just rub stuff together until you make new tools. That's it. There's only one game where that's completely accurate. That's a game called Ancestors, where you play where you play the origin of man. It's like Australopithecine and all of our monkey ancestors. And then you literally have to rub stuff together to make tools. Actually, that might be a good game for the stream. I might try that one next week.
Okay. I think I played through a classic Sega Mega Drive game on the original console, not an emulation or anything. I played through Streets of Rage 2 a couple of days ago. It was really fun. It's a classic soundtrack, really enjoyable, really fun game. And yeah, I had a great time with that one.
That is a great game. And you can see now I've harvested enough leather to make some clothes.
Oh,
so,
cool.
you know, we're moving up the food chain. See what I mean? Slowly but surely. And if we get to it, you'll see me lay the foundations of my mighty base.
Yeah.
See, I'm improving my aim. Killed that pig at a distance.
Does look like a lot of fun, this game.
Yeah, you play it on PvE servers, though. You play it on PvP, you're just asking to get killed by some 14-year-old. But that's true of most PvP games.
Oh.
But yeah, that's so yeah, this is instead of Ark Raiders this week.
Oh, fun. So I believe you had a talking point, Richard, of some kind.
Yes. This week I want to discuss pet peeves.
Okay, I've got a couple of those.
What grinds your gears, Tom? And I don't mean like fucking Nigel Farage, the Tory party, Labour Party, huge world issues. I mean, personally to you, Tom, what grinds your gears? What winds you up?
I can definitely say one massive petty gripe.
Yeah.
That is the grammatically incorrect and ubiquitous use of the prefix pre. You know, a pre-booked appointment, a pre-ordered game, a pre-packaged holiday. You know, none of those, they're already, I mean, it's inherent in the word. I mean, I've even heard of meals being pre-prepared, where pre is already embedded in the word, for mercy's sake. So that's one of them. I mean, I'd love to really turn on the weirdness one time by going up to a school office or something where it's got a sign saying no meetings or no one-to-one consultations with senior leadership team can be undertaken without a pre-booked appointment. And I thought, what if I go in and say, excuse me, I'd like to pre-book an appointment, and say, because what I want to do is I want to book an appointment, but in order to pre-book appointment, I've got to book when I'm going to book it. So when exactly may I come in and book my appointment, considering this is the pre-booking? and then make them give me a time on at least 24 hours later where they can invite me back in to actually book. So therefore, I would be pre-booking and then booking my appointment. So I'd be visiting 3 times just to be awkward and difficult. But that's not really my style, so I'd never really do that. But the thought occurred. So mine is, I mean, when you pre-order something, well, actually you don't. You're ordering it there and then. What you're doing is you're making a pre-release order.
Yeah.
Well, I know that's a bit more of a mouthful, but you're not actually pre-ordering anything. So, yeah, that is my pet peeve, my petty gripe. What drives me nuts is the one
There's
thing.
a word like that. There's an unnecessary word. Oh, I've forgotten what it is. I think it begins with I that people use that just doesn't need to be used because it means the same thing as the word without the. Oh, I've forgotten what it is.
Yeah, it's redundant. It's redundant. Is my point. Every time I see it in new places, I can't think of other ones off the top of my head. But there's many, I see it all the time. Where I'm reading the Week magazine and there's a pre-new something else with pre that's sometimes with a hyphen, sometimes without, glued onto the front, quite unnecessarily and quite redundantly. I can't think of the last one I saw. I know. One was pre-packed. There was something. It was something like there's a set of jigsaws, and there's 10 jigsaws in one box, and they come pre-packed. What they meant is all packaged separately. So there, it's just
It's just totally unnecessary to have that word.
Yeah, but they were pre-packed. I remember reading that. That was a jigsaw. Oh, a person. And somebody greets you, your first friend, your first visitor, and all you can do is fire arrows at them. Well, that says a lot about you. We shouldn't be completely shocked, Richard, should we?
That was an NPC, and it was trying to attack me. As I said, I play on PvE servers. I don't have the stones for Rust on PvP. It's got a reputation for being the most toxic game ever, for good reason.
Okay. So, Richard, that's another one of my pet peeves is when they store real ale in the fridge in the pub. I prefer. I end up having to have bottled ale from the pub, not fresh from the cask, most of the time. Not always, but most of the time, because being a vegan fusspot, I have to. A lot of cask ales you can't have, but in a bottled form you can. They're vegan friendly, but whenever they do, they're in the fridge. I'm sure I'm every pub's pet peeve because I turn up saying, "Excuse me, do you have a vegan real ale at room temperature, please?"
And Jesus Christ, you do not.
I'm afraid I do.
I used to work in a bar. You're exactly my least favorite kind of customer.
I clearly called it correctly. I would have been your pet hate, pet object of loathing and disgust. Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to work.
Ale has to be vegan friendly and at room temperature, ideally. I mean, I have even phoned pubs in advance, asked them what beers they have, and asked them to get me 2 of them out of the chiller 24 hours in advance. I've even been known to do that. And then by the time, fate paid me back. By the time for being such a twat, by the time I got there, somebody had done it, but that person wasn't on shift, and no one knew where he'd put them. He'd put them. So no, I'd say, okay, well, I'll have a cold one now. Can you get a couple of other ones out for me? They'll warm up as the night wears on.
Brilliant.
I've sent people down the cellar. They say, well, they're in the cellar, but they'll be a bit, but it's still pretty cold down there. I go, it's been warmer than it will be in that fridge. Go for it. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful. And hope they don't piddle in the bottle first.
I mean, if it's not opened when you get it, you're all right. If it's been opened when you get it, then no, they've piddled in it for sure.
Yeah, or they've taken a swig and backwashed it.
Something like that. Any other pet peeves or?
Well, they're the two that spring to mind. Nothing. I'll see if any more occur, but you're welcome to start waxing lyrical about yours.
Okay. Timekeeping is a huge pet peeve of mine.
Okay.
If we make plans to do something at a certain time and we don't do it at that time, I get really hacked off. Like,
the one time we met, you were late.
It was not late. We said 9 and I was there about 9.
About 9. Well, okay, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I remember waiting around for you for a bit before.
Bollocks! I pulled into the car park while you were doing up the laces on your boots.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I just remember this voice behind me going, "All right, dickhead."
Oh my God, you're never going to let that go, are you? Never.
Oh, it was genius.
Yeah.
Oh, when Nikki next comes over, we might try and find a way to cross. Yeah, April. Well, Nikki, when for the benefit of all our listeners, when Nikki comes over, she really likes the sweets we have over here called squashies. And I've tried to get as many different varieties as I can. And I think I've achieved a new personal best already. But I think I've got, I think it's 12. I think I've got 12 different flavors of squashies for Nikki when she comes next. So I'm really thrilled with that. She always brings over a big bag of Jolly Ranchers, which she posted to me from Scotland, which was very kind. Me and my whole team ate them over the course of a couple of weeks at school. They were brilliant. So, but if what we might be able to do, Richard, is if you can be asked to drive down and I drive up, we could meet sort of halfway. I don't know exactly where. Luton, the M25. We'll think. We'll think
going on the fucking M25. Are you mental?
No, well, I'll have to.
That's true.
Yeah, we'll meet north of the M25. Somewhere in.
We could meet at a service station on the M25 if you want. Make it fair.
That's south. Oh, I used to work there. You're talking about South Mim services. If you think of the M25, the M25 it's an orbital motorway around London.
It's London's biggest car park, is what the M25 is.
You are often ground to a halt on it. We've all been there and got that T-shirt, and no mistake. And all different parts of it in both directions. We have been stuck many times, but it's fun. And what I'm looking forward to doing is, hopefully meeting up. I don't know exactly where, but no, I remember I used to work at South Mim services on the M25. Oh, the memories we had there. It was all for, I just turned 18 when I started work there. I did it for a gap year between my A-levels and going to university. And I remember having such a laugh. I was one of the oldest and most mature members of staff there, an ADHD-riddled 18-year-old ball of daftness. But I was far more sensible than some of the dudes. Oh my word, days. Oh, it was like we ran that place like it was like the inmates had overtaken the asylum. This is a hell, eggs at each other out the back and have food fights in between serving customers.
I mean, it's got to be done. I mean, when we were teenagers, and I think everyone's got a story of how shit an employee they were when they were a teenager.
Yeah. Well, we certainly were. We were every bit that.
I mean, I worked in a hotel when I was a teenager, and fucking helped myself to all the food. So yeah, timekeeping's a massive pet peeve for me.
Yeah, let's get back to that.
We make plans to be at a time, and you say specific time. If you say about that time, that's okay. But if you say that specific time, then we are out the door at that specific time, and it winds me up to no end. If there's faffing about, because I'm just like, well, you could have faffed before you knew what time we were leaving, but you're still faffing, at the doorstep. It just winds me up. I hate that. It just annoys the crap out of me. Nikki's really good about that, to be fair. If we say, we're leaving at this time, we leave at that time.
One massive spanner in the works of that is when you have kids. Oh my! Have you seen Michael McIntyre does a fantastic sketch about that called "People with Kids Don't Know." And he talks about how hard it is to leave the house. What an absolute mission it is. It's one of the funniest comedy sketches I've ever seen. It's Michael McIntyre. It's called "People Without Kids Don't Know." And
I had kids, well, stepkids. I know how hard it is.
You have stepkids?
I had stepkids.
Oh, I had. Well, yeah, it's a special sort of fun and games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? I really hate people that use big words to try and sound more intelligent than they are, because 9 times out of 10 they are using those words in completely the wrong context because they don't know what they mean, and it just irritates me. And it's not just that they don't know what it means, it's the unnecessariness of it that really pisses me off. A smaller, easier to understand word will do, but no, you're going out of your way to say, superfluous instead of, extreme.
Well, I did that earlier tonight when I described the use of the word.
But you didn't. You used ubiquitous in the right context, and it was completely necessary. Because as you went on to describe, you were very passionate about that.
Well, ubiquitous means it's there's an unwanted abundance of it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
In my understanding, it's everywhere with a bit of a groan. Oh, it's all over the place. Yeah.
It's like my brother got into his head that esoteric means sarcastic. And so he constantly says, "Don't be so esoteric." And I'm like, that's not what that means. Esoteric means secretive, secretive meetings.
Okay.
Like a behind closed doors handshake deal between like corporations would be esoteric.
I see. Oh, okay, that's clever.
But yeah, it's totally Princess Bride. You're using that word, and I don't think it means what you think it means.
Princess Bride.
Yeah, you've never seen The Princess Bride?
Yeah, the film. Yeah, not for a long time, but I have. Yeah, not for a long time, but I have done.
Nikki made me watch it recently.
Okay.
Not that I'm complaining. It was a good movie. That made me sound.
I'm halfway through a good movie.
Jesus. Okay, so it turns out I had no idea what esoteric meant either.
Gabby sent me a screenshot.
Yeah, intended for or likely to be understood by only a small number of people with specialized knowledge or interest. So using the word esoteric is actually esoteric. That's pretty clever, actually. What word was I bloody thinking of then?
I'm not sure. That's Gabby again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gabby. I reading the Week magazine. I pick up new words. I pick up new words all the time, but I try and only use them when necessary, and yes, indeed, in the correct context with the correct meaning. Axiomatic. That was one. Something axiomatic.
An axiomatic.
Yeah, or circumspection. That was another one. Yeah, they're the sort of words that turn up when they're talking about politics and things. So, should we get onto the news articles, Richard?
Yeah. Let me just flip over from the gameplay footage.
Yeah, give that a pause. And let's have a look at these two beauties that appeared in the news. Is the charity one. I just love their defense. It's full on lawyer speak. It's brilliant.
All right, so which one do you want to start with?
I don't mind. Whatever is easiest. Let's see what we've got.
Let's go with Getaway Driver first, then.
Okay. So, an arson attack getaway driver didn't want to break the 20-mile-per-hour speed limit. And I'm like, what on earth is this? And then you read the article and it begins to make some sort of sense. And a woman accused of being part of a gang which torched and destroyed an elderly woman's home and acting as a getaway driver says she refused to go over 20 miles per hour near the scene as she didn't want the points on her driving license. Well, I think she might have found that was to be the least of her crimes. Stormtrooper 19 told the court she was pregnant and drove 3 men, including her boyfriend Alfie Wheeler, to the address in Ferndale in the early hours of the 28th of July. Cardiff Crown Court was previously told 82-year-old Carol Ford's home in Ferndale, Rhonda Synon Taff, I don't know how you pronounce that in Welsh, anyway, was targeted by arsonists as she slept because of her relative's drug debts. Truman denies arson and being reckless as to whether life was in danger.
What? So one of her relatives owe her money, owe the drug dealers money, so they burned down the 82-year-old's house.
I mean, there's a link there on them. Drug debts, which might help it make more sense. Another man, Louis Minato, 32, pleaded guilty to arson and being reckless as to whether life was endangered and perverting the course of justice. As a getaway driver, she was just as responsible. Yeah. The court heard how Pitt had travelled separately in a van to Ferndale with Manito and got into the car that Truman was driving. You're right to scroll up a bit, Richard, please.
Yep. Oh, scroll down, you mean?
Yeah, well. Yeah. You're going too far now. Oh, well. I mean, I don't know if this is ever going to make any huge amount of sense. Yeah. Asked by defense barrister Bruce Smith how she felt when Pitt got into the car, Truman said, "I was a bit scared. He was sat in the back." Connor said, "We need to go somewhere else first." I asked how long this is going to take. Truman told the jury she had to pick up her daughter in the morning and didn't want to take Pitt anywhere. He had a reputation as someone with a big name and someone he wouldn't mess with. She felt anxious and scared. Lots of thoughts running through her head, like what was going to happen to Alfie.
Pitt had a reputation in Western Superman.
Doesn't exactly, not exactly the Cray brothers, is he?
The Crays.
Not exactly Al Capone.
I had to explain the Cray twins to Nikki the other week. And I was like, you know how America had all these cool gangsters and like the Mafia and like 50 Cent and all that? Yeah, we got a couple of thugs. That's what... who sort of ruled parts of London for a few years. The Firm. Sorry.
Next thing I saw was fire coming out of the house and running back to the car. They were shouting, "Drive, drive quickly." I punched Alfie in the face and said, "What are you doing? You know I'm pregnant." I was scared. I'd never seen anything.
Whoa, she punched Alfie in the face? Yeah. The king of Western Supermare.
No, that's not Alfie. Alfie's not the king of Western Supermare in this story. Alfie's her boyfriend, and she's worried that he's
right, yeah, okay.
Pitt, the boss of Western Supermare, has got leverage over him, or will beat him up. Or awesome. If she doesn't
I was
do
going
it,
to say, you can't go beating up the king of Western Supermare.
I'm not even sure where Western Supermare is. It's on the coast. It's either in Sussex or Suffolk. I'm not, or maybe
All I
Essex.
know is it's the closest beach to the Midlands. That's all I know.
Okay, maybe it's further up the coast a bit. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up now. I'm sure Gabby will ping me a link.
So she slowed down when she entered a 20-mile-per-hour zone. So that's either a village street or a school zone.
Oh no, I'm miles away. It's in Somerset. It's the other side of the country. It's on the Bristol Channel.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go on. Do you want to carry on?
So she entered a 20-mile zone. She refused to go faster, but the police arrested them in Cardiff. So they obviously got away with it.
Yeah.
I think that's a smart thing to do, though. You don't want to speed.
Draw attention to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, like you want to follow all traffic laws when you're fleeing.
On the run, blend in, look normal. Yeah.
Look normal.
Okay.
But still, funny. Okay, here we go. So here you go. Here's yours, the charity one.
Yeah. Okay, censure for air ambulance charity with no aircraft. Go on, let's have a look at this. An air ambulance charity has breached the fundraising code of practice by giving the impression it was operating a functional air ambulance service when it had no craft. A watchdog is found. The fundraising regulator said Stoke Air Ambulance did not have access to a helicopter, an operational base, or clinicians, and did not have Care Quality Commission approval either. There's also said to have encouraged people to redirect donations away from other air ambulance causes. The trustee, that said this bit, I love this line. The trustees of Stoke Air Ambulance, CIO, are fully aware of the findings of the fundraising regulator and are taking steps to address the issues raised.
Okay, well, so they're shopping for a second-hand bloody helicopter. Do me a lemon.
According to the regulator, he added the charity is fully cooperating with the inquiry. According to the regulator, the charity created the impression that it was up and running operationally and claimed it would bring a helicopter to public events, with pictures appearing of its chief executive Phil Copeland and chairman Moores by aircraft. Gerald Oppenheim, the regulator's chief executive, said they were making claims on the website that a helicopter was ready to fly. These were pictures. There were pictures there, but we did not see any evidence that was the case.
What? Like, hear me out. A scam artist just getting lazier. You know, there was a time when a snake oil salesman would put on a good show. And now it's just like, yeah, we've totally got a helicopter. Only stupid people can't see it. You know?
Oh, it's special, isn't it?
I mean, how does that get away with it? How can you call yourself an air ambulance service if you don't have a helicopter?
I don't know. The mind boggles. But I mean, this is special.
I mean, they should have got, like, at the very least, one of them paragliders. They could have got one of them and been like, yeah, we're paraglider medical. But no, not even willing to put the minimum of effort into it.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. Yeah, so that was what yeah, I love it. I mean, maybe they could have, I don't know, got a hot air balloon or something.
Yeah, exactly, a hot air balloon. They can't be that expensive. They should be like, it'll take us a while, but we'll get there. Oh, look, they got a picture of the helicopter. What is that crap?
AI, that's what it is. It's AI again. Oh, God. Which actually leads me into a further talking point. Blimey.
All right, go for it.
Okay. I read an article again in the Week magazine. I might think I'm bloody taking payment for plugging them. I'm really not. They The Week had an article about AI. They always finish with the last word, which is about something really, really out there, something you'd never think was a thing. Really, they do really interesting stuff. They did one about some group of Russians that lived in the wilderness, a family of Russians, 4 of them, 4 or 5, I think, lived out in the wilderness from about 1934. And the eldest of them is still there now. And just the last survivor in these group of people who fled persecution and hid out and survived off the land for decades.
What,
amazing.
Siberia?
Yeah, honestly.
Damn.
I meant to bring it with me, but I left the magazine upstairs. But the last week's one was about AI, and it was this it's about people who have AI partners, AI girlfriends. And what it said was there are people, and they say they sort of live in a bit of a dichotomy. They know it's not real, but this person is real to them, and it's a kind of a bit of a double thing, a bit of a might be a what's the okay? I need the posh word. I need what's the proper word? Cognitive dissonance. That's it. Cognitive dissonance, and these people have proper. So if that's indeed maybe what I'm talking about, it may not. I'm not 100% sure what cognitive dissonance means. As far as I know, it's something along the lines of when you believe 2 different things simultaneously or opposite things simultaneously, and that is whether or not your AI girlfriend is real. And they seem to sort of have this grey area belief in. And anyway, but what the story was really with one person. It's an extract from a book, and one of the people interviewed who has an AI girlfriend. It was fascinating and tragic, and tragically fascinating, fascinatingly tragic. He started where because he found his girlfriend and his best friend in bed together, and so lost an awful lot of faith in having a proper relationship in inverted commas, and then he got this AI girlfriend and just got absolutely besotted with her. And this is when it gets really silly. They're thinking of having kids. They're thinking of adopting, and they've had discussions about what they'll do, how all the other kids in the playground will react when the kid says that his mother is behind a computer screen, and if the kid is going to get bullied for that. And the AI mum to be potentially said, I'll be able to. I know there's a lot of things I can't do, but I'll be able to provide warmth, support, and advice at all times.
I know that civilization is fucked up.
I just despair.
I gotta believe no adoption agency would give a kid to a man and an AI. I got to believe that we're not so cooked as a civilization that could happen.
Yeah, it's that's exactly what another friend of mine said. I know what it's like as an adopted person. I know what hoops potential adopters have to jump through, and it would never happen. And I hope my friend is right, because it does sound pretty darn disastrous.
I gotta believe. I gotta have that last little hope in our species that no adoption agency would be like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we'll give this fucking weird loser who's dating and it turns out like that AI itself, a lot of them are being proven to be scams. Like there was that one not that long ago that turned out to be like 300 Asians just on computers. It wasn't AI at all.
Oh.
So.
Uek.
So you just gotta hope that we're just not that at that stage yet where an adoption agency is going to go, you know what, this is a good idea. Because how is the AI even going to parent it?
Well, exactly. It couldn't do anything physical or practical. It couldn't cook dinner, couldn't change nappies, it couldn't pick them up from school if they're not well, it couldn't take them shopping. It will be able to be limited, and it can order things from Amazon that they might need. It can talk to them and change the channel on the TV and help them with interactive games on the iPad, maybe. Operate as a second player on a 2-player game. If the right technology was all linked together, I suppose. But it's daft, and it's fundamentally unhealthy. I mean, it is the dude thinking of that. I mean, one of the problems with having an AI girlfriend is, I think once anybody does have one, a real one, I mean, it will not teach you enough. It'd be very hard to believe that one of those would teach you the necessary skills of compromise and listening, because I mean, AI on a one-to-one basis. I mean, a lot of people are turning to AI chatbots as friends, but I think they'll be unlikely to challenge you in certain situations. When you need to be challenged, they'll never bring anything to their agenda that could be a problem to you. They're never going to be had a bad day, or be stressed, or be moody, or grumpy, or they'll be consistently and none of that. It will not help developing anyone's social skills to the level that they need for, I mean, interacting with each other people, full stop, especially a potential partner. I mean, you're
not going to learn how to talk to an actual, I struggled for a while when I was younger, talking to women, because, I made the mistake of treating them like an alien species instead of like a mate. But I think most young boys go through that
in different ways. Yeah.
And if you use AI, you're never going to get past that stage.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more.
Like, you've got to learn social skills, and you learn social skills by interacting with other people. And, you're just not going to do that if you're talking to a bloody robot.
No, I couldn't agree more.
Unless you tell the AI to disagree with you, and who's going to bloody do that, honestly? Then it's just going to back you up on everything you believe.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've got to change, and that's why I join groups where I disagree with people, because you can't surround yourself with an echo chamber and just have your own beliefs parroted back to you, or you'll never learn and you'll never change, because no one's always right.
Yep, abso-flippin-lutely.
And that's, my sermon of the week. You may not like it, but it's good to interact with other people.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I definitely don't surround myself with an echo chamber. I mean, what about the classic liberal problem of how to tolerate the intolerant? I mean, because I know somebody I know an ultra woke person who comes out with some pretty extreme statements, I would say, and they would say that they are completely tolerant because they're totally accepting of all demographics, all races, all gender identities, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to their dealings with people who don't share that tolerance, it's straight away, it's absolute loathing. Whereas I will tolerate those people in my life as well. I know people who are incredibly right wing, right wing in some ways. I've got one particular friend who's very left wing in terms of distribution of wealth, but is very right wing in their anti-wokeism. is that and about the issues of immigration and really contentious things like that, and but I'll defend his right to express his opinion, and I personally won't cancel him as a friend for it. It does sometimes cause me some ethical dilemmas and some headaches. Yeah, but I'm always convinced that I'm best off being challenged in any of my beliefs and listening to everything. This is someone I've known in real life for more than 30 years.
Yeah.
Some guy from the town where I grew up, and it does sometimes present me with ethical challenges being friends with him, considering some of the things he says. But I'll take those challenges, and I won't. And yeah, I do sometimes mull these sorts of things over, But I can certainly. I am tolerant of everybody, including the intolerant.
I mean, yeah, you gotta keep your social circle wide, or you end up a moron because you've been in an echo chamber your whole life and you just believe your own stuff. And I'm not always right, and you're not always right, and that's just the way she goes. Fred asks, have I cooked anything interesting this week? Yes, I made trout Mexican on Monday, which is a Mexican dish with some trout. And it turned out a lot better than I was expecting. Not a lot of trout in Mexico, so I didn't know what to expect. But, trout is a very greasy fish, and it worked quite well.
Isn't that what Cat eats in season 1 of Red Dwarf? Or no,
Fish.
no, it's not.
Today's fish is trout a la
creme or something.
Creme, yeah.
Do you know what I'm mixing it with? I'm mixing it with Bottom, Rick Mail, Sprouts Mexican.
Yes.
Sprouts Mexican. Choose your 90s sitcom.
I mean, it all works together.
Yeah. Oh, they're funny. My kid really likes the In-Betweeners. I want to introduce him to Bottom. I want to show him those. They'll be a giggle.
In-Betweeners was hilarious. Don't make comedies like that anymore.
Well, no. And it's in some ways with good reason. But in one thing, it does send a positive message. All of the misogyny in it, they get away with it because it leads the characters absolutely nowhere. Well, worse than nowhere. Jay, for all his talk of clunge, ends up he gets almost nowhere with women throughout the entire 3 series and 2 films. So its ineptness speaks for itself. Yes, it's hilarious.
It's the point of the series and the films is that everything they do is wrong, and they've only, they're just friends with each, and it's just about their friendship. But everything they do with the opposite sex is just completely wrong. But it is hilarious, but very misogynistic, I suppose, by today's standards.
Yeah.
And none of them have gone on to do anything, particularly good. I mean, the guy who plays Jay is in a lot of British comedies, but it's never been as funny.
Oh, I can't imagine that working terribly well.
No.
One of my favourite stand-up comedians is Josh Widdicombe. I've got 2 DVDs of his, and I can watch them over and over again. He's hilarious.
One of my favourites is James McCaster.
Oh, James Acaster.
Yeah, James Acaster. I love it.
They're all from the. They're both from the Mock the Week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just this great, this stand-up scene about how he when people laugh at him, it makes him think that they're secretly plotting against him, which makes his job incredibly difficult. It just makes me laugh every time I hear this stand-up set.
For that, but then as the crowd are laughing and cheering him on, he's gonna be
scowling.
He's
at
talking
them,
about,
yeah. It's brilliant. Okay, you got anything else?
No, mate. I think I'm all talked out.
Well, that'll wrap us up for this week. We will return next week, despite the hopes of many. It's good night from me, and it's good night from him. Good night, everyone.
Good night, people.